Ladies and gents, we are live. Welcome back to a Friday, a red Friday. Markets in absolute free fall at the moment as we speak. I know something we kind of talked about this as a very probable scenario over the next few weeks between now and Q1. Sure enough, here we go. It has started possibly a little earlier than we thought, but here for our live market update and a look at the charts, as well as hopefully some indications or some ideas where this might bottom. Mr. Simple Jack, aka Andrew, the chart man. What's going on, buddy? How you feeling today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I mean, you seem for normally when the market's in this condition, like I'm trying to keep you and Jan away from ropes and sharp objects, but you both seem pretty calm, cool, and collected today.
I mean, it's we were expecting a bearish market, so winter's here. It looks like. I mean, these are pretty nasty weekly charts at this point now. So, losing that 50 SMA was not very good. We've got some bearish divs now on the MACD. We were quite overbought there as well. So, yeah, it seems like we're getting a bit of a correction. So I think now we just have to wait and see how the market resolves. We talked about this reload zone for quite some time now. So I think price is finally slowly making its way here. And then it's going to be critical to see if we can actually form a base, a bottom here, or we might have to even go further. But for now, I think the reload zone is kind of what I'm eyeing to see the next kind of big level of support. And you can see like the MACD is coiling. It is trying to put in potentially a bullish divergence if we, like I said, can get above this like middle neckline here. But as we are building higher lows, we're creating lower lows here. So still a bit of a way before we get that bullish div. It would be nicer to get that while we're in the reload zone. And then, we'll get our like kind of oversold conditions and everything. And as long as we can get some kind of double bottom, I think that's kind of where I'll be hunting. For now, it's definitely looking pretty bleak. Losing these lows here was kind of bad. So I do think more downside. And just have to wait there for a bit. Ethereum, same thing. We lost those double bottoms that they were forming. And Ether didn't actually lose these lows yet. So maybe this starts to hold here. We're kind of right against these tails here. But, Bitcoin starts breaking down lower, then I don't see why we can't take this reload zone. I think, like technically speaking, this would make the most sense is for prices to come back down, retest these original market structure, and then see whether or not we want to break further, or that could be the temporary bottom there. But now we are slowly trying to build some kind of potential divs as well in the MACD here, and then same thing as we get oversold conditions, we should consider some kind of temporary support. But I still think we're quite a bit of a way here. Weekly chart still probably looks pretty bad. And yeah.
Dude, I think this is my prediction. I think 75, 80K is possible. And then after that, we lift off. Why do I say that? It's because there's average price somewhere there.
Yeah, and it's right against the previous candle body lows here, last kind of market structure bottom. It'll be kind of like around your 88.6 there. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable. We're we're flying down now at this point. So,
I think it's fine. It's fine. People that have money still, hopefully, be on the sidelines. I think there will be good opportunities still. Obviously, like stock market, equity market, they're looking at double tops at the moment, and we are the highest valuation ever in the history of mankind. So
yeah, she looks pretty rough here.
If you just like zoom out a little bit and like look at this cycle starting, it started basically in early 2023. We had a run up, the first run up into the 70K, the new all-time high in March. We had a 32% pullback. And then what did we do? We ran up again, new all-time high up to 110. And then we had a 32% pullback. And then we ran up a new all-time high again. And now we're at about a 33% pullback would take us into like the 85, 84 range. I mean, it just looks like a step up on the chart. I know it feels really bad right now. If you zoom out a little bit, it doesn't look that bad.
I mean, it's always up at the end of the day, right? You're looking at 5-year horizon. Equities are generally always up. Even after you get a big nuke like that, it gives you opportunities to get back in. There's always a bit of a double bottom or something, right? So it's just a matter of waiting at this point, right? Like, I mean, we got a long way to go from the tops here. A nice 30% correction would be way down here. Might be a bit extreme. Usually those kind of like 30% moves are done when there's like some kind of like big event. But I don't really see anything. Maybe we start seeing some kind of liquidations and stuff like that. And then,
well, I mean, we did have a pretty big event in October. Only the biggest liquidation event of all time by 20x. I mean, I think that counts.
For crypto, but I wouldn't. It wasn't like that.
For yeah, gotcha. My bad. Yeah.
So like, a nice like little pullback. It's definitely would be healthy. This thing is obviously has run up quite a bit. So I mean, just wait till we get structure. Really, that's like just wait for those double bottoms, wait for your setups, and that's kind of really about it. Like just sitting in cash is okay too. Like you don't always have to be in a trade, right? So I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm like, all right, like, we were kind of cash heavy the last couple of weeks. Haven't really been buying super aggressively anyways. So mostly just chilling and then waiting for these signals to turn, and we gotta wait for these like indexes to start putting W's again. Kind of like how we did back here. We got a nice little pop, but it was pretty short lived. As you can see, stablecoin dominance is getting higher, and even Bitcoin dominance is falling off. So it seems like a lot of the stables are moving. So generally,
fear and greed is almost all-time low. So we're in extreme fear phase at the moment in the market. You can see everywhere, like people are quitting again, people are crying, scammers, the whole industry is.
So I think we're all like, we've talked about this scenario being, they're going to wreck the markets before they pump it next year to make it look good for the elections and stuff. But like, at what point, I'm still of that mindset. Like, I still think that, this cycle is not over. It's an extended cycle of some sort where it bottoms. I don't know. But at what point do we flip and go, okay, now we're in an actual bear market. Like, we're going to be down for the next year to year and a half, like more traditional cycle, the 4-year cycle still intact, blah, blah, blah. Like, when are we, like, what point do you guys flip from this is temporary, we're going to find a bottom and then resume up in the relatively near future, meaning 2026 at some point, versus no?
I'm going to be bearish until I start seeing like the full setups of like, all right, we're back into actual like reload zones and like location of value. Looking for those divergences to show that momentum has switched, and then looking at like oversold conditions.
Right.
Once I have and like setup wise, like yes, but like for now, like just looking off weekly charts, like it's pretty much like we're in a bear little like trending.
Yeah, I think from my side, like I'm not gonna see any more like these 4 or 5 year cycles. I think the financial system overall is so overheated that you can't really have this like 3 to 5 year cycles anymore. I'm looking at this like 1 year forward, and where I see again, January is going to be when the government will shut down again. There will be a lot of elections next year, and obviously I do agree with you, Nate. Like usually when there is an election year, there's going to be a pump. I would say I'm very uncertain what will happen in 2027 before the next Halloween, because there's basically nothing major in 2027. 2028 is also when another election is happening, right? So I don't know. I would say we are in a mini bear market, but do I call this like 1 year forward? This is going to be the end. I don't think so. I just don't see it happening. I think there's still a lot of liquidity sitting on the sidelines. It's been a very weird cycle for sure, but in short, I am bearish. I am looking this as a bear market, but I see it also as a very good opportunity to buy different things.
Sure.
I think so too, but like I think you have a lot of time before rushing into buying stuff.
When you say a lot of time, you mean you're saying like probably 2 to 3 months, or are you saying a year?
Yeah, I mean it could be like 2 to 3 months. I mean it really depends if this is like officially the top or whatever, right? You know, generally bear markets last 18 months.
Yeah.
And then usually when you see Bitcoin bottom, you know, Bitcoin does usually put in these like weekly W's. Usually does like a 70% retracement, and then off you go. And so like this is like a study, like one of my trading mentor pretty much drawn out the last like 4 cycles or 3 cycles. And it just kind of goes through like the pivots of these 4-year cycle pivots. We've actually hit our 4-year cycle pivot like a couple weeks ago. And so like it's just like an interesting comparison of how these markets stop generally once you hit these 4-year marks. And as you can see, right, like it takes quite a bit, like about a year for, you know, the market to kind of like officially really bottom after a bearish market. So I am worried that we're in this kind of stage where things are supposed to start like breaking down again. Because, you know, this is kind of typically where the pivots should be. We mentioned, you know, we talked about this before, like we thought cycle end would be coming soon. So, you know, this could be the thesis that's playing out. So yeah, you know, so I start seeing those weekly W's, man. I'm going to be on the bear side for a bit, I think.
All the guys that have been preaching that the 4-year cycle is still intact might be proven right here. I still don't believe so, but we will we'll find out, I guess, in the next couple months here.
Yes, sir.
I think
generally looking at
the short term. It's blood in the streets, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you get random coins like sometimes, like look at Manta, like Manta's trying to put in a double bottom here. So like, there's still like some coins that are like hanging on and trying to like rally, but they're like very short lived. Like, you know, they bump and then they're just instantly eaten up with like several orders. So you can get some like quick pops and swings here and there, but yeah, it's definitely a very hard market to trade, in my opinion.
Any I mean, obviously all the majors are down. How about Ethereum? Where are we looking at? Where's your reload zone on Ethereum?
Yeah, I mean, just right here, we got the 2K to 2700 is kind of what I'm looking at. So you got the original kind of breakout bottom. This is kind of the last like consolidation that we have before this big move. So realistically, coming back here would make sense. You know, there's a lot of business that's, you know, been done here. So a bit of support, you know, reload zone. And once we do get into this area, you know, we should be quite oversold at that point. And then hopefully we have a bullish divergence. Yeah, I mean, we're not too far away from the reload zone. So I do feel like prices do have to get there.
Well, again, for those that have cash, opportunities will be coming.
Yeah, just like, you know, just wait for your setups. Like, honestly, you know, maybe this ETH Bitcoin starts turning, and then we can kind of maybe see if there's another rally. But yeah. Yeah, not many picks, unfortunately, guys. It's looking pretty bearish out there. So
yeah, but you know, sometimes it's good to be honest and be like, hey, like better to sit on the sideline and just wait.
Yeah, like that's a trade in itself, like just sitting in cash.
Yeah, because usually like the biggest gains that you make is just sitting on the timeline and just be patient. Like yeah. I had positions previously that I held for like 1 year before I did anything, and those went really well. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm very happy now. Like I'm just gonna sit and see where the market is going. I think there's a lot of opportunities coming in, and as you guys know, we are one of the biggest OTC and M&A desk. We understand really well the market behind the scenes. Like we see that there are still funds with money there's still companies that are buying shit. Like, it's just that we have now we have 25 million coins nowadays to follow. So all this negativity that is coming, it's not really true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, eventually something's gonna freaking give. We're pretty close to extreme fear. So buying when they're crying, selling when they're yelling is the old expression that I was taught. So
nice. I haven't heard that one before. I've always heard just when others are fearful, get greedy. When others are greedy, get fearful. But I haven't heard. I like that. Buy when they're crying. Buy when others are crying, and
selling when they're yelling.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, but that's it for me. That's all I got for charts. Unfortunately, guys, we gotta wait for levels, and then yeah, we can try to think some more trades. I don't really have many short trade setups. I don't really short the market too often, so mostly looking on the long side. And unfortunately, we just have to wait.
No worries, man. Well, as Jan mentioned before, we are the market leader for M&A and one of the largest OTC desks as well. Lots still going on. Both of those markets are still very hot. OTC is slowing down a little bit as the market retracts, but there are still very good deals out there. There are still active buyers out there for a variety of different deal types, from equities to token stuff, DATs, pipe deals, etc. And the M&A market is definitely not slowing down one bit. A lot of big buyers out there looking to take advantage of this consolidation period in the market. We've got a lot of great listings. You can come here just looking at over the few of these featured listings and top performer listings in our marketplace here. A lot of great stuff to highlight. We've got multiple perp decks. Perp decks is available. A lot of revenue positive businesses, media agencies, hackathon communities, etc. One we wanted to highlight today here with the onboarding of stablecoins, the popularity of stablecoins, all the banks, etc. coming into crypto. We've seen the last couple live streams here talking about a lot of the big institutional adoption moving TradFi rails into digital onto blockchain. Trump the other day came out saying, hey, blockchain is the future. We're moving all of the U.S. financial infrastructure, on chain, online, going digital with it over the next few years. Fast, very, very massive, very bold statement to make. But with that, we are seeing a lot of neobanks, a lot of banking infrastructure, a lot of licenses become very popular. And this listing here is one of our newest global crypto fiat banking infrastructure, more than 65 enterprise clients, multi-jurisdiction licenses. They've got over $5 million in revenue. I believe that's already just this year alone. Fairly newer, so these guys are still scaling up and getting started. So a lot of opportunity with these guys under the current market conditions, and going to continue to be a bullish sector as more and more countries, especially the U.S., bring all of their banking and financial infrastructure on chain. So this is a great opportunity to get out ahead of that growing trend, whether that's stable coins or payments, remittance, etc. A lot of stuff going on. We got some stories talking about Visa, talking about Square, and others that we'll take a look at today. But some opportunities here. Neobank sector is projected to reach 3.4 trillion, over a 35x growth from where we're at currently. Fintech accounting for 1.2 trillion of that market there. Client acquisition, currently onboarding 40 clients a month, with 3-year contracts, providing scalable, predictable revenue growth. Geographic expansion, existing presence in 120 plus countries, regulatory framework supporting expansion in additional markets through pending MiCA approval, opening up the European markets, obviously, partnerships with USA and Indian markets and the MENA region. So if you are interested in the banking infrastructure side of things, in the fintech side of things, it'd be great for centralized exchanges, people looking to get involved in the US and European jurisdictions, a whole host of people that this would be actually really, really good for. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Hit us up. We've got our our co-founder, our CGO, Mr. Harrison, is the lead on this one, but you can hit us up on Telegram. You can message us on X or our website if this is a deal you're interested in seeing more about. Same thing goes for any of these on here that you can reach out via the contact sheet on the website there. It's a super easy way to get in touch. We got some ZEC just moves. We got some some trading comments coming in here.
Yeah, Zcash.
That one, what was that, Jan, that we just had on screen?
It always goes the opposite of Bitcoin. So while Bitcoin's upping, Zcash is pumping.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like you got all these like really like random coins that are just like slowly pumping here and there. But it's very few and far. So
yeah. Speaking of the fear and greed index, we mentioned that earlier at 22 today, hit down as low as 20 earlier. I think just earlier this week. All time, or at least cycle lows, were down at 15 and 19. That was back in March, basically kind of peak tariff FUD at that time. That's a lot of what we're seeing. Talked about this last night, actually, on a different live stream. People saying, well, why overall? We've got all this bullish news and adoption. Why is the price going down? Why is Bitcoin? It doesn't logically make sense. Why are people so fearful right now? Well, I think two major factors, in my opinion, that are contributing to this. Number one is, again, people are just, I don't know why, but people are completely discounting the liquidation event in October. Like, we still look at the FTX crash as like the crypto apocalypse, right? People still years later talk about that as, the biggest event, the biggest crash, the worst thing to ever happen to crypto. The liquidation event we had in October was 20 times the size of that. And we're literally less than 4 weeks. That was October 19th. It's November 14th. It hasn't even been a month. And people's like minds are erased. It's like it's gone, like completely forgotten it already. It's like, why are the markets down? Well, fucking that's why. Like, you think the market's just going to recover overnight from something like that? Like, a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of shit got fucked up. So I just think the market's completely unrealistic in terms of how big of an event that was, and discounting it, writing it off, and it's been less than a month. So I think that is still hanging over the head of crypto right now, despite all the other bullish news and adoption and integrations that we are seeing. The other factor I think that is a major component of why the price is tanking right now, why people are so fearful, is the timing of this correction. This is where traditionally with the 4-year cycle, we should be seeing the end of the cycle, the top in Bitcoin, and things starting to come down. So, for the people that have been preaching the 4-year cycle is still intact, for people seeing that, this timing lines up perfectly with where we should be starting to retrace and go into a full-on, year and a half long bear market. So I think those two factors combined are what have people super fearful and prices tanking. Now, whether or not the second of that is true, whether or not we are going, still in the 4-year cycle, we've started our 18-month bear market, is yet to be seen. But the fact is the timing is perfect for it. It does line up a lot, and it's got people shitting their pants and dumping their coat.
Yeah, it's definitely got us shitting our pants.
I think every time there's a big, like, you absolutely like the 10th of October event was horrible. It was much worse than anything that happened before. And I think there's still bodies that needs to come out. And usually it takes a while to get these bodies out. It will probably take 3 months before we actually get some positivity in the market.
I think it might take longer. How long did it take for the market to recover after FTX?
A year, maybe?
Yeah.
It bottomed. It took a good couple months to bottom after that. I mean, what was the date on the FTX collapse? Do we remember?
I can't remember. But my point is still we are going to the max amount of fear. People are quitting. People are coming and going, saying everyone are scammers and so forth. But the biggest thing is the macro and micro environment. But the macro environment in TradFi, we have the most depth ever. The valuation of currencies are going down. There's not a lot of places other than BTC to hedge. And obviously, there's still a lot of money in the sidelines. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a 1-year bear market. I think there's too much on the line. Next year will be good. But, yeah, maybe a mini bull run in December. I don't know, but I'm still hesitant. I'm not going to deploy.
Yeah, so the FTX collapse was November 2022. You can see the candle pretty clearly on the chart there. From that first day of the red candle on like November 7th ish, it took. I mean, we didn't get back above it till middle of January 23. So I mean, it took a good solid like 70 days, like 2.5, 3 months before we started to bump out of that.
So it was until like January, February.
Yeah.
Oh, so now we just gotta wait. That's all it is. We just have to wait. You know, that's the part of being in this market. You just gotta like be able to just sit there and be patient.
Yeah, but yeah, I think when you're waiting, I think it's the best time to actually go and see what's happening in the market and see what are the potential upcoming projects. Mm-hmm. You know, like this is usually when you study a lot. You study who is still building. You study who has a very positive momentum still, and you study the founders. You can find very good founders that are basically just preparing for a little uptick up.
I've been preaching it for the last 2 weeks, man. I'm excited on pre-sales right now. I'm out there hunting for good quality pre-sales with like reasonably short vesting, low FTVs, solid founding team, and real products. I think that if you can find those that are going to launch, before the end of the year or like Q1, early Q1, that have less than a year vesting, like I think you can. Those are some golden opportunities right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, it seems to be very weird. Like Coinbase is pushing now for pre-sales, and I think other companies also.
Yeah, there's a little comeback on Launchpad.
Yeah, I'm like
every foundation's starting to do Launchpads and shit, and like it's like weird. I'm like, okay, is this the final squeeze?
We definitely got Launchpad.
Yeah, if you're a foundation, if you're a big team out there looking for a Launchpad, hit us up. We've got multiple top tier, big name Launchpads prices. In fact, we're working on a deal right now. Hopefully they'll be closed next week on one of them. Excited to hopefully announce that in the near future. But yeah, man, there are some good launchpads out there. If you are in the market, hit us up. Virtuals ecosystem could surprise us with some good projects. Agreed. I actually just aped into one like 2 weeks ago. A little alpha. No, I was. Gosh, I don't even remember. I'll have to go back and look. But I got a little alpha from a buddy, actually a mutual friend, mutual Norwegian friend, Jan, who said, like, these guys, I've chatted with the team. They've done over $1 million in revenue, and their market cap's like 700K. He's like, how many companies do you know that have $1 million in revenue and their market cap's, well under that currently? So I was like, I took a look at it. They got some leads, got a real project. So yeah, there's some gems on virtuals for sure.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, but like, I mean, at some point these pre-markets will come back, and that I do think they have to come back, because if no one is building, how do we get the ecosystem forward?
Yeah, but like, it's like, dude, how many bear markets have we gone through? It's the same shit that's just going to happen over and over. People are going to keep building. People are going to keep, pushing.
New narratives are coming in.
Yeah.
Yep, we need a new narrative. We need a little life back on the charts, and we need some new cash flowing in, new liquidity. When we get that, pre-sales will be back, launchpads will be back, all the shenanigans will be back. We'll hit FOMO nonsense on early stage projects in the venture market. Will go right back to all their old shitty tactics that they always do, and we'll have people aping $5 million into white papers with 6-year vesting, and people will get retarded and send the money and get wrecked. And then
that'd be nice. At that point, I'd be like, okay, let's just cash out, boys, and never look back.
Then we know. So yeah, guys, I think this kind of tells us what we need to know here. Get out there, and now's not the time to hang up your boots. Now's the time to be hunting for good opportunities. They are few and far between, but they are out there. Well, a couple opportunities that I know Andrew has been pretty stoked on is is with the perp dexes, and if I could find the right story here somewhere. No. Where is it? That's not it. Well, we'll start with this one. Perp dexes being hailed as the decentralized future of trading. Well, turns out Hyperliquid not so decentralized after all, as due to a flash attack using Popcat, which earlier this week they froze deposits and withdrawals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but dexes shouldn't be able to freeze deposits and withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, crypto Twitter in a bit of an uproar as it's starting to be more and more exposed here that despite being a supposed DEX, despite being supposed DeFi, you control your own funds, there are still backdoors built in where it seems like most of the funds on Hyperliquid are controlled by 3 or 4 multi-sig wallets, and that through a system of bridges, they are able to block deposits and withdrawals. So what does this say for perp dexes? What does this say for DeFi as a whole? I mean, I don't know. People are making a shitload of money there. They don't really care about this stuff when they're making money. So I unfortunately, cash is still king. I think this kind of gets swept under the rug, but just another good example, guys. You got to be very, very careful where you put in your funds. If how many times have we seen projects we thought were decentralized, safe? Safeu, control your own funds, and turns out, whoops.
The thing is, though, like this was well known for a while that they had like the funds held in multi-sigs. But
yeah. I guess I wasn't aware of that. I also don't do a lot of perps trading, but yeah, it sucks to see this. More positive news, at least for you, Andrew. Lighter, number 1 now.
Very nice. If it can release at a 12 billion valuation, that'd be very nice.
Are you gonna retire?
I might have to retire. I don't have that many points. Like, relax. You guys are gonna get me fucking shot out here.
Perps volume of $12 billion in a day for Lighter, jumping the chain there. I think they were number 2, number 3, kind of on par with Aster for a bit, but taking the reins here big time.
Yeah, man. Again, what a long way it's come. Holy crap. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we used to joke about like Lighter points being like, yeah, Lighter points are gonna be worth like $100 a point. And like not ever thinking that'd be like real.
But to be honest, I hope they will respect people that has been farming. You never know with point farming and so forth. Like what the team is actually going to do.
Don't say shit like that. What are you doing here?
I told you.
I'm giving you your work.
I told you I'd give you $1 a point, man.
Look, I told you guys all to farm this shit back in March.
Yeah.
Nice. Definitely bullish on that. I just wonder how well they'll like do with like if the market does start tanking pretty hard here. Like, can they survive with a good launch? I guess like Hyperliquid kind of did pretty well. Like, so I mean, yeah, I still got decent high hopes for this.
Well, someone who has finally given up their high hopes, Mr. Michael Burry, calling it quits this week, rage quitting and getting out of the game, shutting down his fund, and walking away. Burry, one of the most famous bears of all time. He's called, the last 500 of the last 2 bear markets, and admitting basically in the letter. This letter, I think, was actually funnier to read. I have it here somewhere that he posted. Where is it? Anyways, he posted his resignation letter. The letter announced the shutdown of the fund, basically saying, fuck these markets. I don't understand them. I can't trade them. I'm out.
But there's speculation that he actually did this because he wants to go private, and you have much harder to take care of money out if it's a private fund. So I think he's also protecting his fund a little bit here.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm expecting somewhat of this being a Michael Jordan style retirement. I don't think this is the last we've heard of Michael Burry by any means.
And he was shorting Nvidia and Palantir. I think both stocks were down a lot after that.
His Nvidia should be doing pretty good right now, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was looking at this last night as well, and they jumped over 20% just overnight. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure his puts should be quite a bit of profit. I mean, I don't know where he bought that.
I do agree. Like, imagine him being very autistic, like he actually is, and he's like, these numbers don't make any fucking sense. And he's been betting against the market now for at least 2 years. And market is just going up, 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 up. Like, I do get it. Like, this is a fraudulent system. If numbers don't make sense, like, why even bother?
Yeah, for sure. I get it. And most of these guys will never admit that. Like, you're never gonna see like Robert Kiyosaki come out and be like, I'm done. Robert Kiyosaki, famous for calling like a new financial markets ending catastrophe like every other week. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have more to report on this story in the future. Probably biggest story this week since Tuesday when we last spoke, it went live. The U.S. government is officially reopened, meaning they can now get back to passing bills. Moving forward with ending of QT, starting of QE, the Clarity Act going through, etc. So, not in and of itself a bullish catalyst, but it was a much needed step to get back into talks around things that we're going to need to see happen before these markets turn back around, i.e. QE, money printing, continuation of rate cuts, etc. I don't know. The Fed meeting wouldn't have happened would it if the government shutdown was still on, or would it have?
I think it still would have. No?
Yeah,
I guess I can't go over. I watched yesterday South Park, the newest episode, and I just can't go over Trump and JD Vance fucking each other.
I didn't catch that one.
It was it's getting so ridiculous, and I do agree. Like the whole United States, like what's happening there, like I don't know how to unfuck this situation anymore. Like it's so ridiculous.
There's no way.
It's like at this moment, it's like unfuckable. So
it's all performative theater.
Just like be on the sideline and laugh. That's
the only reason the government shutdown ended. It ended 1 week after the elections are over. Does that surprise anybody? No. It was all fucking pageantry by the Democrats to be like, oh, look at the shit we care about. We're so compassionate. And then as soon as they get their votes, and they did, they got some swing votes on some like some mayors and some judges and shit got elected. And then within a week of that, the votes being over. Oh, okay. We all that shit we said we were never going to budge on. We capitulate on all of it, and now let's open it back up. Shocker. And then of course again pageantry on the Republican side. What's his name? He's actually not bad. Kentucky guy, older dude, not Kennedy, was coming out saying we're gonna pass a bill that when they shut down, the senators don't get paid again. He knew that the shit was going to open up. It's just pageantry on both sides. They're just out there fucking whacking themselves off so they can get votes. They don't give a shit about any of us. So yeah, it's all kabuki theater. This is a great one here. Breaking: White House says October jobs and inflation data may never be released. Okay, I guess it's optional now. I guess we're just not gonna release the most core economic data if we don't like it. All right.
This is great. This is like
I think
they're also doing this because they don't want their enemies, aka China, to know what's really happening.
Well, and I get it. The big thing is that the government was shut down, and so because of that, it skewed a lot of the numbers because too many fucking people work for the U.S. government. Like of all the jobs that were created in the last year, even with the massive revisions of like 1 million, whatever it was that came off, the books from the last year of Biden's reign, like of those jobs that were actually created, is like 80% of them were government jobs. So like when the government was shut down, they didn't want to release the numbers because it would have been fucked and like, oh, it's going to skew all the data. Still, you can't do that. Like on the other hand, this is just a new. I mean, we get either this or we get the status quo, which is make up numbers and then revise them 6 to 9 months from now. So either way, whatever. Maybe this is the new way we go. Maybe this is the new strategy.
This is again a good use case for blockchain. Like, if this would be all automatic, this could not be happening. And again, like I have nothing against the governments. I think you still need governments, but at least make them so that they cannot like poof like things. And government will always try to fuck you. I don't know why. It used to not be that way, but like nowadays I feel like there's more and more betrayal.
It's been that way for a while.
It's all about max profit now.
Yeah, we didn't let them bend us over back in the day. Like we got a little more backbone. We'd stand up a bit. Now people are just like, all right, I guess I've got Netflix and fucking.
It's because they took your guns away. We need our guns back.
Hey, baby,
more countries need to get their guns
back. God, baby.
Oh God.
Put the guns in the people's hand, and that's how things change.
That's right. Governments need to be scared again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of some of the big governmental stories coming out here. One more. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. This two stories here. Visa and Square both announcing. If we can get this shit to load, there we go. Both announcing they are now have onboarded crypto payments. Square onboarding Bitcoin payments and Visa onboarding stablecoin payments. Massive news. I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, great! Now we can pay with Bitcoin. Now we can pay with stables." That's PR bullshit. Nobody in retail is going to look, realistically, anytime in the next 10 years, be spending Bitcoin or stablecoins at stores. But why this is a big story is the back end, the other side of this coin. People that are receiving the payments can now choose to automatically have fiat payments sent into crypto, either receiving Bitcoin or receiving stable coins, I believe with zero fees. With the Bitcoin, at least, zero processing fees to go from fiat automatically into Bitcoin. With stable coins, you're getting very low rates if paying anything via Visa. This is the single biggest opportunity to onboard retail and onboard SME, small businesses, that we've had in this industry yet. This is how we start to see real mass onboarding of fiat into crypto is through Visa, is through Square. Square, if you're not familiar, they are essentially the POS system for small businesses all over North America and a lot of Europe. I think they're in other markets as well, but a very cheap alternative to having a traditional POS system put into your business. You can just get Square and get an app on your phone and immediately start accepting credit card payments and competing with the bigger retailers, which previously you couldn't do because of the fees associated with running credit cards at your business. So Square is huge for e-com and for small businesses being able to accept credit cards. Now they're going to help us onboard people into crypto, but kind of backwards to what most of the news stories are telling you. I don't think people are going to be spending Bitcoin anytime in the near future, but people are going to be receiving Bitcoin and building up their own personal Bitcoin reserves, as well as receiving stable coins with this year.
Yeah, but how many times have we already heard this, like during 2 years? Like, is there anything new? By the way, I was trying to buy.
No, this hasn't happened in the past yet.
So interesting story. I was trying to buy a game through crypto on Monday, and I had the most horrific experience. Like,
really?
I think, it's like we are still not there. It's very fucking painful process to buy something with crypto still. Like, despite it's 2025,
don't buy things
integrated. It's still fucking painful. It's like if I have a MasterCard or a credit card, it's so much fucking easier.
But you're completely missing my point here. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying people are going to start spending crypto. What this allows is for people to spend crypto, and the people that's receiving the payment
I understand
Visa and receive crypto. That hasn't been possible until this.
Yeah, okay. But I still think like the whole payment systems are not there yet. And whoever is building, let me know. I might be investing.
For sure. Because I agree. Like, number one, you shouldn't be spending your Bitcoin on fucking anything. Like, if you're spending your Bitcoin, you're an idiot. We've talked about that a lot. But if I can get you to spend your credit card at my store and I receive Bitcoin with 0 fees, hell yes, I'll do that every day of the week.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is a big story. But I agree with you on spending crypto. I think that's a shit show. Of course, immediately after Square publishes this, the Bitcoin maxis come out of the woodwork screeching about how this is the worst thing ever. It's not self-custody. You have to, there's a 50K, only 50K per week maximum. Square primarily deals with small businesses. Like 50K a week with small businesses to take it if they want to self-custody is great. Like, that's plenty. Like, this is Bitcoin maxis just need to fucking settle down. Like, this is literally onboarded. Yeah. Like, okay, like do all the Bitcoin maxis also hate every centralized exchange? Like, do any of you keep money and ever use a centralized exchange? It's the same fucking thing. There's withdrawal limits on centralized exchanges too. Like, you're not going to onboard people through like dirty, shitty DeFi rails right now because they don't work. They're not good enough. So like, this is how we get to that stage. I think this is super bullish for people to be able to start, personally receiving Bitcoin, because we've seen all the privacy stuff. We've seen what's going on in Europe. Like, we need ways for people to get Bitcoin and crypto in their hands, so we can start bypassing the rails, the traditional finance rails. Which this is a great way that this can happen. Again, don't spend your fucking Bitcoin, but you can now do offline transfers of Bitcoins with NFC tech via your cell phone, right? So
that's nice.
Yeah,
and that also means getting hacked easier too.
Yeah, of course. There's going to be, you got to be smart about how you do this, but this is the kind of stuff that has, the big the EU types scared. They see the writing on the wall where we're very soon the average citizen, average civilian will be able to completely bypass the traditional finance rails, which means they can completely bypass all the greedy, grubby tax collector fingers of these governments. And so they're trying to clamp down while they still have the ability to do so.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool stuff. But I'm overall still bullish on this industry. Even if we go into a bear market now, we got to wait another couple of years. Still think
that's right. We're not too far off from 2028.
Yep. Agreed. But that's what I got for you story wise here. And I actually got a call I got to hop on here in a minute. So happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Don't stare at the charts all weekend.
Go touch some grass. You're not going to miss out on anything.
Yeah. Go watch some sports. Go to the beach. Go climb a mountain. Spend some time with your family. Go get some exercise in. Get your mind off of the chart.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys next week.
Ciao.